If still you think me mad, you will think so no longer when I describe the wise precautions I took for the concealment of the body. Then I wanted, and I worked hastily, but in silence. First of all dismembered the corpse. I cut off the head, and the arms, and the legs. I then took up 3 planks from the flooring of the chamber and deposited between the scantlings. I then replaced the boards so cleverly, so cunningly, that no human eye, not even his, could have detected anything wrong. There was nothing to wash out, no stain of any kind, no blood spot whatever. I had been too worried for that. I too had called all. Haha, when I had made an end of these labors, it was 4 o'clock, still dark as midnight. As the bell sounded the door, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? Their entire 3 men co-introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officer of the police. Alfred had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Information had been lodged at the police office, and they, the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled, for what had to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The sheik, I said, was my all in a dream. The old man, I mentioned, was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to this chamber. I showed the seen treasures, secure, undisturbed in the enthusiasm of my confidence. I brought chairs in the room and decided them here to rest from the fatigues, while I myself, in the well audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them I was singularly at ease, they said, and while I answered cheerily, they chatted of familiar things. But ere long I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears, but still they still chatted. The ringing became more distinct. It continued and became more distinct. I talked more freely to get rid of failing, but it continued and gained definiteness, until at length I found that the noise was not quite in my ears. Not only no growth very pale, but I talked more fluently and with a gained voice. Yet the sound increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when involved in cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officer's heart it not. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise still increased. I across in a good boat drives, and I came with violent gesticulations, but the noise suddenly increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor to and to fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observation of the men. But the noise suddenly increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I saw the chair upon which I had been sitting and greatly put the boards, but the noise arose over and continued increased. It grew louder, 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 and still the man chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible did had not? Almighty God! No, no! They heard, they suspected, they knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This is thou, and this I think, but anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this discretion. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt I must scream or die. And now again, hark, louder, 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 louder. Pigeons? I strike it. Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here. It is beating of the hideous heart. The end.